Hello, everyone. I am Doreen FELIZA, and my report is all about selection and onboarding of startups. So, before we go to the selection and application of startups, we must understand first the importance of onboarding for startups. So, one of the most crucial factors that can determine the success of any startup is onboarding process. For startup and incubation centers alike, understanding the importance of a well-structured and comprehensive onboarding program is vital. So, we will explore why onboarding is critical for startups, and how incubation centers can effectively onboard startups rather through a detailed process, formalities, and so preparing for onboarding. So it is important that we have to identify the eligible startup. So one of the most critical steps in the onboarding process for an incubation center is identifying eligible startups. So it is the work of incubation center to identify who qualified or eligible for startup. So after we identify the eligible startups, we have to create an onboarding checklist for them. So in the fast-paced world of startups, it is crucial for incubation centers to have a well-defined and efficient onboarding process in place. So, in creating an onboarding checklist, we have seven checklists. Number one is conduct a thorough needs assessment. So, what are the needs of the startups? Define the onboarding stages. Next is identify necessary formalities and forms. Next is streamline administrative tasks, provide detailed instructions, assign responsibilities, and regularly update and improve checklists. So, just like any other work, we need to follow this checklist for us to have a smooth onboarding process. After we identify the eligible startups, in creating an onboarding checklist for the startups, we have to set expectations for them. Uh, Expectations act as a blueprint for success by clearly defining what is expected for startups in the incubation center. It becomes more easier to align efforts and ensure a both onboarding process. So setting expectations can help both startups and incubation centers. So for startups, uh, understanding the expectations help them to better prepare and focus their efforts in achieving the desired outcomes. Then, for incubation center, setting expectations helps in assessing the viability of startups and providing the necessary support to maximize their chances of success. We now go to the application and selection process. So, first is designing the application form. One of the most important step in onboarding process for startups at incubation center is the design of the application form. Why it is important? So startups often faces numerous challenges during onboarding process, including lengthy and complex applications. So that is why, as much as possible, we need to make a user-friendly application form to encourage more startups to apply. So first, we have here some key considerations when designing the application form. Number one is simplicity and clarity. So the application form should be straightforward and easy to understand. uh, we do not, or we discourage vague application forms. So as much as possible, use simple language and avoid jargon or technical terms that may find the applicants very difficult to understand. Next is relevant information. So determine the key information you need to evaluate a startup's suitability for the incubation program. Avoid asking irrelevant and excessive questions or mga unnecessary questions. So focus on aspects such as team's background, business idea, market analysis. Another is format and structure when designing a application form. So remember that organize the application form into sections or categorize to facilitate the completion process, considering using a mix of multiple choice, checkbox. So we have to be organized. Another for signing the application form is we have to use the technology. So leverage technology to simplify the application process. So develop an online form that can easily be accessed and completed by startups. Incorporate features such as autofill, data validation, and progress indicators to enhance user experience. So overall, easy, organized, and user friendly. Next is flexibility. Understand that each startup is unique and their requirements may vary. So provide an option for startups to add additional information or attach supporting documents if needed. So this allows for a more personalized, um, com- comprehensive evaluation of each applicant. So last but not the least, a review and iteration. So continuously evaluate and improve the application form based on feedback from startups and incubation center staff. Regularly update the form to ensure it aligns with the evolving needs of both parties. So after designing application form, we go to reviewing and evaluating applications. So the success of an evaluation of an incubation center rather largely depends on the quality and potential of the startups it admits into its program. So therefore, the process of reviewing and evaluating applications is crucial in ensuring that only the most promising startups are selected for onboarding. So next step for reviewing and evaluating applications is number one, the initial screening. So we have upon receiving the applications from the application form, the incubation center initiates an initial screening process. So this involves reviewing the basic information provided by startups such as their business idea, team composition, market potential, and traction. The aim is to filter out. So we have to, the aim for initial screening is to filter out applications that do not meet the minimum set by the incubation center. So the incubation center sets standards. Next is evaluate criteria. To ensure a fair and objective evaluation, the incubation center establishes a set of evaluation criteria. So these criteria may include aspects such as innovation, market size, scalability, team expertise, and alignment with the incubation center focus area. So after that, we have the evaluation process or the evaluation proper. The evaluation process typically involves a panel of experts who carefully review each application. So the experts may consist of industry professionals, experienced entrepreneurs, and subject matter experience. So they thoroughly analyze the business plans, financial projections, and any additional supporting documents submitted by startups. So after the evaluation process, we have the selection decision. So after a comprehensive evaluation, the panel will make the selection decision. So the selected startups are notified and invited for further discussion and due diligence. So the rejection letters are also sent to the unsuccessful applicants, along with the constructive feedback to help them improve their application in the future. The last one is the formalities and forms. So once a startup has selected, the incubation center provides them with necessary formalities and forms to complete the onboarding process. So these may include the legal agreements, confidentiality agreements, intellectual property disclosures, and any other paperwork. So the purpose is to ensure both parties are protected and any potential risks are mitigated. So after the review and evaluating process, we have to conduct interviews with potential startups. So another crucial step in onboarding process for an incubation center is conducting interviews with potential startups. So the purpose of conducting interviews is to gain a deeper understanding of the startup's vision, goals, and viability. So it allows you to assess the team's capabilities, evaluate the business model, and determine if there is a good fit behind the startup and between the startup and your incubation center. So that would be all for my report. Thank you for listening.